There is a veil over this world, thin enough to sense, but thick enough to blind. Beneath the surface of our reality lies a presence, an intelligence that has shaped civilizations, whispered in the ears of rulers, and molded the very fabric of existence. Some call it God, others call it the architect, but those who dare to look deeper know it by a different name: the Demiurge. But what if I told you that the God most of the world worships is not the true source of creation, that the being revered in ancient texts, feared in scripture, and obeyed by millions, is not what it seems? This is not a new idea. In the forgotten corners of history, mystics, Gnostics, and secret societies have long spoken of a hidden truth, that our world is not what we have been told, that the cosmos itself is a construct, a grand illusion shaped by a powerful intelligence whose motives remain shrouded in mystery. Some say the Demiurge is a tyrant, a false god who has imprisoned human souls in a realm of suffering and deception. Others claim it is merely a cosmic architect, a necessary force in the grand design. But here's the question that few dare to ask. If the Demiurge is the creator of this world, then who created the Demiurge? Tonight, we unravel the mystery. We dive into the ancient texts, the secret teachings, and the whispers of those who have glimpsed beyond the veil. Who, or what, is the Demiurge? And what does this knowledge mean for you? The answer may change the way you see reality forever. To understand the Demiurge, we must first step outside the boundaries of conventional belief. The world we experience, its beauty, its chaos, its suffering, is not the result of some benevolent creator's perfect design. Instead, it is the work of an imperfect, blind craftsman, a being that believes itself to be God but is, in truth, something far less. This idea traces back to Gnosticism, an esoteric tradition that emerged in the shadows of early Christianity and Hellenistic philosophy. According to the Gnostics, beyond this material universe lies the true source, an infinite, unknowable force of pure light and wisdom. From this source emanated divine sparks, but one of these emanations, an arrogant and flawed being, turned away from the light. In its ignorance, it believed itself to be the supreme creator. This being became the Demiurge, a cosmic architect that shaped the physical universe, binding souls into matter and veiling them from their divine origins. In the Nag Hammadi texts, an ancient collection of hidden Gnostic scriptures, the Demiurge is given a name, Yaldabaoth. He is described as a lion-headed serpent, a god of false light, declaring, "I am God, and there is no other god beside me." But in this moment of arrogance, a voice from the higher realms whispers, "You are mistaken, blind one." This revelation shakes the very foundation of mainstream religious thought. What if the being worshipped as God in many traditions is not the true source, but a counterfeit divinity, one that thrives on worship, obedience, and control? This would explain why so much of human history is defined by suffering, war, and spiritual amnesia. If the Demiurge is the ruler of this world, then we are living in its design, an illusory construct built to entrap consciousness. But there is another layer to this mystery. Some traditions claim the Demiurge is not evil, merely ignorant, a builder rather than a destroyer, creating without awareness of the higher realms. Others suggest that the true prison is not the universe itself, but our own minds, our conditioning, our fears, our unquestioning acceptance of the world as it appears. So the question remains, are we trapped? Or have we simply forgotten how to see beyond the veil? As we venture deeper into the nature of the Demiurge, we begin to uncover a paradox that has echoed through the ages. On one hand, the Demiurge is a figure of oppression, a blind creator that imposes limitations, trapping souls in a world of false light. But on the other hand, the Demiurge is also a necessary force, a builder, a designer, a catalyst for the very evolution of consciousness. In this duality lies a profound truth. Without the illusion of the material world, the quest for enlightenment would be meaningless. Consider this. If we were born fully awakened, with complete knowledge of our divine origins, would we have any incentive to grow, to seek truth, to transcend? The Demiurge, in its flawed construction of this world, inadvertently serves as a mirror for the soul's journey. The discomfort we feel, the suffering we endure, and the search for meaning are all part of the path back to the source. In this sense, the Demiurge is not purely malevolent. It is the catalyst that pushes us to awaken. This notion challenges the conventional view that the world is either inherently good or evil. It presents the Demiurge not as an ultimate force of evil, but as a necessary agent of transformation, whose false creation leads us to question the nature of reality. The universe, bound by its laws and limitations, provides the perfect crucible for soul development. It is within this false construct that we must realize our true nature. This brings us to a crucial point in understanding the Demiurge: the role of perception. The Gnostics argued that the Demiurge does not solely control the physical world. It controls how we see the world. The very act of perception, our ability to experience and interpret reality, is shaped by the Demiurge's influence. It keeps us trapped within the confines of material existence, perpetuating the illusion that we are separate from the divine. But this is the great deception. Our true selves are not bound by the material world. In a sense, the Demiurge can be understood as a cosmic filter, one that distorts our perception and limits our connection to the higher realms. Yet, it is through this very distortion that we are invited to challenge the nature of reality. Awakening, in the Gnostic sense, is about seeing beyond this veil. It is the process of piercing through the illusions created by the Demiurge, to remember that we are sparks of the true source, and that our souls are meant to return to it. There is a mystical exercise that has been practiced by mystics and philosophers throughout history, a form of inner alchemy, designed to unravel this illusion, the activation of the inner sight. It is an ancient ritual of clearing the mind, unlearning the distortions, and awakening the third eye. This practice, though shrouded in mystery, is the key to seeing beyond the grasp of the Demiurge. But here lies another question. If we awaken from the illusion, what happens to the world we see? Does the Demiurge lose its power over us? Or do we simply transcend into a higher state of being, leaving the material world behind? These are questions that have remained unanswered, waiting for each individual to experience their own awakening. The insights into the Demiurge are not merely intellectual musings or abstract philosophical exercises. They are keys to a profound transformation of perception and consciousness. If the Demiurge's influence is primarily through the distortion of reality and the suppression of higher truths, then the path to awakening lies in shifting our perception, in seeing beyond the illusion it casts upon us. One of the most practical tools to begin this process is the cultivation of inner stillness. Through practices like meditation, breathwork, and deep contemplation, we can silence the mental chatter that clouds our true vision. These techniques allow us to disconnect from the constant noise of the material world, which is often a creation of the Demiurge's control, and begin to attune ourselves to subtler, higher frequencies of awareness. Mindfulness, too, serves as a vital tool. By becoming acutely aware of the moments when we are entrapped in the world of appearances, we can step back and examine whether we are responding to the world based on truth or on the false constructs of the Demiurge. This is a delicate art, requiring patience and discernment, learning to see the world, not as it is presented to us through conditioned minds, but as it truly is, an illusion created for our soul's evolution. Another key practice is the activation of the third eye, or what is often referred to as the inner sight. This practice, taught in esoteric schools across cultures, is about developing the ability to perceive reality beyond the physical senses. Through focused meditation, visualizations, and energy work, one can begin to see through the veils of illusion. In this higher state of awareness, we are able to perceive the divine light that permeates all existence, cutting through the falsehoods created by the Demiurge. In addition, the practice of self-inquiry can be incredibly transformative. Asking questions like, "Who am I beyond this body? What is my true nature?" helps break down the layers of identity that the Demiurge has placed upon us. This is a journey inward, into the heart of our being, where we reconnect with our original essence, free from the constraints of the material world. However, the path is not without challenges. The Demiurge's influence is subtle, and it often manifests as comfort or certainty in the world of appearances. Many people will find themselves drawn back into the mundane, as the ego strives to cling to the material world. The key, then, is persistence and courage. The courage to look beyond the superficial and to embrace the discomfort of awakening. The most profound transformation comes when we understand that we are not victims of the Demiurge. We are its co-creators in this world of illusion. Our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions shape our reality. The Demiurge may have created the world we live in, but it is our choice whether we remain imprisoned by it or transcend its limits. As we awaken, we begin to experience a deeper connection to the divine, the true source that exists beyond the material world. And though the Demiurge may continue to shape our earthly experience, we will no longer be its passive victims. Instead, we will begin to live as conscious creators, stepping out of the illusion and into the light of the eternal truth. The Demiurge, that ancient force of illusion and control, is neither an enemy nor a simple construct to be defeated. It is, rather, a part of the cosmic play, a necessary counterpart in the duality of existence. Just as the shadows define the light, the Demiurge gives form to the true spiritual essence of the universe, shaping the physical realm through the dance of creation and destruction. But like any illusion, its power lies in the belief we place in it. To truly awaken is to transcend the control of this cosmic artificer and begin to see the world through the lens of the eternal. It is to shed the skin of the illusion and remember the vastness of our true being, an essence connected to the divine source from which we all emerge. We are at a critical juncture in our collective evolution. Every moment, every thought, every choice we make can either entrap us further in the cycle of the Demiurge's control or lead us toward liberation. The key lies in awareness, in recognizing the subtleties of how the Demiurge operates within our consciousness and the world around us. But the journey is not one of escape. It is one of embracing the divine within, recognizing that the essence of the source exists in every moment, every shadow, and every light. The Demiurge may distort, but it cannot obliterate the truth of who we are. And as we awaken to this truth, we align ourselves with the wisdom of the ancient ones who saw beyond the veil. We step into our birthright as conscious creators, not mere victims of a reality we do not understand. Perhaps, in the end, the most important question we must ask ourselves is this: how do we choose to see the world? Do we accept it as an illusion crafted for us by forces beyond our control, or do we step into the light of true vision and begin to reshape our reality? If we embrace our inner power, we may find that we are not separate from the divine, but rather, we are the very instruments through which the divine manifests. It is not the Demiurge that holds the keys to our freedom. It is the awakening within ourselves. And once we awaken, we will realize that the boundaries of this world are far more fluid than we could ever imagine. So, I leave you with this thought. In the grand scheme of things, the Demiurge may be the illusion, but it is you who holds the power to break free. The choice is yours, and the path is before you, one step away from seeing beyond the veil.